Guys, this is Cole. Well, we got some movie news to discuss today. Today's movie news I'm going to be discussing is that 24 Jump Street is officially in the works. We have a Grinch sequel with Jim Carrey confirmed. That and so much more. So if you want to hear more movie news, subscribe to this channel and let's just not waste any more time and get into this movie news. So we're gonna work our way up from the oldest news, well, oldest by default, up to the newest news. So the first news is on June 10th of 2026, it was officially announced by Variety and several other accurate news sources that 24 Jump Street is officially in the works with Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, and Ice Cube all in talks to return. And I am so excited for this. I absolutely love 21 Jump Street from 2012. It is an awesome comedy movie. I also like the second one, 22 Jump Street. It's not quite as good as the first, but it's still a really good sequel. So, and it's been it's been 12 years, so good we're finally getting a third one because this movie series deserves a comeback. Those movies are absolutely hilarious. And sorry if you hear a dog barking in the background. Anyways, let's move on to the next set of movie news. So the next movie news here is that on June 18th, 2026, it was officially announced by The Hollywood Reporter that a sequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas starring Jim Carrey is officially in the works, with Jim Carrey set to return and Ron Howard set to return as director. And this movie's being written by Alec Berg, Jeff Schaffer, and David Mandel, three writers who I'm not familiar with. Now, when it comes to the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, I really do like that movie. I think it's a good Christmas movie, but in my opinion, I do not really think the movie needs a sequel because the movie had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it perfectly wrapped up its story, so I don't think there's any need for a sequel. I mean, I get why they're doing it because of money, name brand recognition. I mean, when that movie came out in 2000, it was the highest grossing movie that was released that year, so I mean, from a business perspective, it makes sense, but I just don't really think a sequel is needed. And my biggest worry is that it's just going to be a movie about memes. Now, very much like the upcoming Shrek 5. Now, I really like the first two Shrek movies. I think they're really good. The third and fourth one are okay, but they were not on par with the first two. And I liked the two Puss in Boots movies for what they were. But in my opinion, we don't need a Shrek 5 because even though I think 4 is just okay, I mean, I think the fourth movie wrapped up its story. I mean, heck, you could even argue that Shrek 2 could have been the last one as it felt like a closure to the story. But anyways, I'm worried that The Grinch 2 is just going to be a movie about the memes, and my biggest concern is, how are they going to make the makeup work? Because Rick Baker, who did the makeup for Jim Carrey's live-action Grinch movie, is retired. Are they going to get him out of retirement? I just have a feeling that the makeup's not going to look as good, but we'll see. But I don't know. I mean, I'll probably give it a fair chance because I do like the Jim Carrey movie, but I just don't really think a sequel's needed. The next movie news, and oh boy, this news I'm not excited for, but let's get into it. On June 22nd, 2026, it was officially confirmed by Deadline that a live-action Lego movie hybrid starring Keanu Reeves is officially in the works at Universal, but here's my big turnoff with it. It was confirmed that Josh Cooley, who directed Toy Story 4, is directing the movie. Now, as you guys know, I love the first three Toy Story movies. I think Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 are absolutely fantastic movies, but I was not a fan of Toy Story 4, and in my opinion, it was a terrible sequel that it pretty much ruined a lot of what made ruined what made that trilogy great. So the fact that that director's return is directing this, yeah, that's a bit of a red flag for me. And I mean, yeah, Keanu Reeves was good as Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4. I mean, he was one of the few positives I had with the movie, but this is just a big turnoff for me because, like I said, I like the first three Toy Story movies, but I was not a fan of 4. And you might ask, well, why is Universal doing this? Like, a lot of you guys might ask, well, didn't Warner Bros. Do the previous, Lego movies? Yes, they did. They did the Lego movie in 2014 starring Chris Pratt, which I rather like that movie. I think of all of them, that's easily the best one. The Lego Batman movie is pretty good too. The Lego Ninjago movie is okay. It wasn't as good as those two. And then I never saw the Lego movie 2. But in 2020, Warner Bros. Officially lost the license and Universal bought the rights to the Lego movie. And then I know in 2024 there was like a Lego movie called Brick by Brick, which was a theatrical release made for like a $16 million budget. But despite the good reviews, the movie bombed, only making $10 million worldwide. And it was a biopic movie about a sailor, which I mean, that's kind of a weird choice to have for Universal to do as their first, official Lego movie. And basically, Universal is coming very close to losing the license for the Lego movie, for the rights to making Lego movies. So this one they're trying to make before the rights expire. But I don't know, just the idea of a live action hybrid Lego movie, just I like Legos, but I'm like, how would you even make that work in live action? And I personally think the only reason Universal is doing this is not only because the rights are about to expire, but I personally think I think Universal, I think they saw how successful the live action Barbie movie was box office wise and reception wise. So I think they just want to cash in on that success so they can have the same success with that Warner Bros. Did with Barbie. But I think that's the only reason they're doing it. But I don't know, just until I see a trailer, I'm not sold on this concept. One thing I am, however, sold on is it was officially announced on June 22nd, 2026 by Discussing Film on Twitter, a reliable news source. Well, not Discussing Film is on Twitter and a few other stuff, but it was officially announced that a new Powerpuff Girl animated movie is in the works at Warner Bros. Animation, and I'd be curious about this movie. Now, when I was a kid, I was not really into the girl animated TV shows like Barbie and My Little Pony, and Care Bears. That stuff was never for me. But of the girl-themed TV shows, I actually did like Powerpuff Girls. I actually thought that was a pretty cool show, where if you're not familiar with the concept, it was this popular Cartoon Network TV show that first debuted in 1998, where it's about this dad who's a scientist, and his 3 little girls get these superpowers that they use to fight bad guys. It was actually a really cool show, and they did do a pretty good movie of it in 2002, and the original TV show ran from 1998 to 2005. It was a really good show. So us getting a new animated movie, I would be curious if they do it right. So although we don't really know who's writing or directing it yet, or the story direction, but I am curious about it at the very least. And the last official movie news is that it was announced on June 22nd, 2026 by Comic Book News that a Thundercats animated movie is in the works by Warner Bros. Animation. Now, Thundercats, for those who don't know, was a very popular kids cartoon from the 1980s about these human cat hybrids on these alien human cat hybrids that basically lived on a planet, and they had swords and weapons, and they would basically battle bad guys. It's been a long time since I've watched the show, but it is a good show. So yeah, I'd be curious to see an animated movie if it was done right. And now, recently, on June 5th, 2026, there was a live-action movie adaptation of the 1980s cartoon Masters of the Universe. And the thing is, the new Masters of the Universe movie, it is receiving very good reviews by critics and audiences, but it's bombing due to a lack of marketing. And that sucks, because I saw the movie and I was very skeptical on it because I don't like Jared Leto as an actor or as a person. So when he was announced as Skeletor, I thought it was going to be terrible. But I saw the movie and it was actually good. And coming from someone who cannot stand Jared Leto, he was actually a good Skeletor. And that's because you don't see his face, but his voice was unrecognizable. And the reviews by the critics and audiences have been really positive for that movie. And a lot of fans of the old cartoon are really liking the new movie. It's just a shame that it's not doing well, and on a $200 million budget, so it's probably not going to make its money back in theaters, unfortunately. But I do see that movie doing better on streaming. So I just, I guess Warner Bros. was not phased at the fact that that movie was bombing. So they're now, granted, Warner Bros. Was not the one who did, Masters of the Universe. That was Amazon Prime Video because they have the license. But yeah, I'd be down for this. So yeah.